It's only one or two mistakes that add a couple $10,000, $20,000 to a project. Like, wow, I could have bought a lot of $300 inspections with that mistake. So they come back around and realize, hey, I don't know everything, I don't know yet. So
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show. I'm your host, Erika, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Aaron Schroer, the owner of Tennessee Home Inspectors. Aaron, it's so awesome to have you on the show today.
thank you, Erika. It's good to be here with you.
So for our listeners, Aaron, let's dive on in. How did you get started in the real estate and investing world?
Okay, so I got into the real estate world. I was doing some soul searching and looking for a career change. I was talking to a buddy of mine who was an appraiser, and he recommended home inspection to me. He kind of knew my background and my history, and he said, I think you'd really enjoy it and be good at it. So I called up a buddy that I knew who'd done home inspections for my mom when she was purchasing her last house. And he said, come, tag along with me, see if it's something you want to pursue. I was in 2009, and I ended up working with Bill for about 4 years before I started my own company. And as an investor, kind of some of the marketing I was doing was joining investment groups to promote my company as a affiliate member. And if you sit in a barbershop long enough, you end up getting a haircut. So I ended up buying investment properties and flipped a couple houses. And so I owned commercial and residential and some small multifamily. And it's been a good, some lots, some raw land. So that's been kind of just a little thing on the side as I've been in the industry. And then I started my own company, at Home Inspection Company. I run a small team here in Middle Tennessee. We do a lot of houses, and it's been 11 years in business. We've worked with a lot of really large investors and small investors alike. And then doing that has just exposed me to a lot of interesting real estate deals.
Yeah, I'm sure. Let's talk about Tennessee Home Inspectors for a bit. How does your company tailor your services to meet the needs of the investors that you work with?
Number one is being flexible. So investors have their own idea of how they want to do things. I always say there's kind of 3 stages of investing, or 3 types of investors. We've got our freshmen, our sophomore, and our senior investors. I think of the seniors like your real estate investment trusts, your Wall Street money, the big companies. When they approached me in the beginning about doing inspections, they're sitting in a boardroom looking at inspection reports from 16 different states at that time, and they wanted every report to be the same. Well, many home inspectors are kind of tied to their product, and they only stay with that one product and doing that one thing. But for them, I was like, absolutely, I'm I need a customer, you're a customer. Our first year in business, we did 400 work orders together. So it was amazing and it was awesome.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
But I had to do it the way they wanted it. And it wasn't a state compliant home inspection. So they had their own report, and at the bottom of it, it says, this is not a home inspection. And I was okay with that, where many home inspectors wouldn't be. And then since then, it's been the same thing. I've got inspection companies I've got investors that I work with who, they don't want a 60-page report. They want a 2-page report, a 3-page report, something that is very tactful, that they can use quickly and easily and digest. They don't want to know about every door stopper that's missing or things like that. So they want the big stuff. They want an overview of the property. They want to be able to budget and plan with their capital expenditures, their CapEx budget. So working with them with a platform that they want in a way they want to be served is most important. I always say those freshman investors are the new people in the real estate group. We got people trying to get into the industry. They're wholesalers. They may be doing their first deal. So they need a little bit of hand holding, and they get inspections when they're doing their first deal. And then after that, we kind of get investors the sophomore, which if you look into the word sophomore and break it down in the Latin, it means wise fool, right? So these people often decide they're not going to do inspections. And usually it's only one or two mistakes that add a couple $10,000-$20,000 to a project. Like, wow, I could have bought a lot of $300 inspections with that mistake. So they come back around and realize, hey, I don't know everything. I don't know yet. So, and that's another thing, is keeping it affordable for investors. They don't want to pay $700-$800 for a single family home that they're purchasing. So we try to get them something that's around $300. It's a lot easier to swallow that and add it to the line items and budget accordingly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. When it comes to the investment properties that you look at, what's typically like the most common issue that you might uncover?
In Tennessee, it's water problems, right? Crawl space houses have moisture intrusion from bad grading and a little bit of neglect. Along with that, they're probably looking at some fungus treatment, maybe some wood rot, termite stuff. That's usually the biggest issue. Most of the stuff that is cosmetic in nature is already on their radar. We might identify some electrical updates they didn't anticipate. Roofing problems happen, but usually that's kind of visible from the ground anyway. But sometimes, we get in there and we got to break the news that, hey, it's only a 100 amp electrical service. So they're probably looking at either upgrading the electrical or adding a gas line to the house and converting some of the appliances to gas to be able to accommodate a more modern setup.
Yeah. Yeah, with something like that, that could make or break a deal. Do you have a story that kind of fits that idea that, the inspection, made or, broke a deal?
A lot of them. A lot of them. So, some of the things we look at, we've got clients who are wholesalers, and for a lot of times they don't get an inspection, or, they'll just like, what, I think on this one, they're looking at this, they've got a house subject to, or they've just got a contract on it that they can reassign, assignable contract. And, for them, they might, like, okay, I see this house. I think I'm going to keep it, rehab it, and add it to my portfolio. If it's not, if I'm missing something, then I'm going to turn it. and sell it to somebody else and they can close on it. So on those instances, yeah, I've had those go both ways where we've come in.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Done the inspection, like, hey, you got to do quite a bit of subfloor, floor structure work. There's just a problem over in this corner of the house. And they've looked at it and like, yeah, that just doesn't make sense for what I want to do. So they find somebody it does make sense for. And then I've gone through on those and they've been, hey, you know, everything's just what you thought it was going to be. No surprises here. And that peace of mind is what they need to move forward with their own intention and their own plan for the house.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, with your experience, I'm sure you've seen a lot. And you know, and one thing that we were talking about before we started the podcast was just the importance of these inspections. What do you think is like the greatest misconception when it comes to your role with properties?
A couple things when we're talking about investors and investment properties, you know, like we can't see everything. There's gonna be surprises, especially if somebody's going to do a rehab and it's a serious rehab. Like they're gonna come into some unknowns when they start tearing stuff out. It's a visual inspection, and we're somewhat limited on what we can access and what we see. So, you know, in a room like this, somebody might decide to tear this paneling out, and when the knotty pine goes, like, you know, there could be a pretty big moisture, termite, rot issue around the window. And it's like, ooh, that didn't plan on that. That was an unexpected expense. Usually there was some signs, but, you know, people find things to add to their budget that they weren't necessarily planning. In the regular retail world, you know what, and then if you are an investor selling a property, you're dealing with a retail buyer who's going to come in and asking for all these repairs, updates, changes. I like to let people know when I teach CE classes to realtors, I say, hey, we are not an authority. We're a person with an opinion. This is one man's opinion about the current property conditions. So if you got a buyer lined up and they're asking for some repairs, you know, well, the home inspector said it needs this, the home inspector said it needs that. It's subjective. So we want to keep that in mind. We want to temper it with knowledge. You know, one of the big things here in Tennessee is that we're a very free state. And we have people moving to Tennessee from more bureaucratic states and places where certain things have to be brought up to codes at the time of a real estate transaction. Like, we don't get that here. So we're not codes inspectors. People ask us, is this up to codes? And I tell them, well, does it matter? Because codes ain't coming. And that's a thing that I kind of have to train our clients with. So that would be the same thing. If somebody's asking for repairs on a house that you're selling, you know, we can look at those repairs and try to be judicious about, well, what really needs to be fixed and what's just nice to fix. If it's not up to code, but it was kind of grandfathered in from when that work was done, okay, great. But if it's a brand new water heater, for instance, yeah, it should have probably been installed up to current codes for that area.
Yeah, absolutely. From an inspection perspective, Aaron, what's one key difference investors should understand when evaluating these properties and seeing if they're a good fit? Like, are there, you know, maybe some red flags that you've seen in a property type that investors may not notice?
Yeah, I teach a class for investors, and I do have like a checklist that I give them of things to look at. So we need to have a pretty decent understanding of each system. And then inside that system, are we comfortable with everything that we can figure out and find out about it now? Are we going to be prepared to make the necessary repairs to bring it up to more modern expectations, depending on the goals of the house, right? So that's depends on the neighborhood. You know, if it's If it's in a, up and coming neighborhood and it's really trendy and prices are going way, way up, well, we can put more into it. If it's a property that is out in the country.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
The expectation of the standards of living in that area is a little different than what we're going to see in the inner city in a trendy area. So for there, what you can get away with not touching, leaving alone, or maybe upgrading to a decent standard, but not, top dollar is important. So keep an eye on the goals for the property. How much maintenance are we going to put into it on the front end? That's a good question. Most of our big commercial clients, they want a CapEx of the next 5 years. What are we going to fix in the next 5 years? They want to budget for those things on the front end. Is it going to need a new roof in the next 5 years? Well, it's easier for that project manager, for that estimator to get the money kind of earmarked, dog-eared, set aside for this project on the front end, on the purchase, than to come back and ask for those funds later on. So they're looking at, hey, what's everything we do in the next 5 years? We're going to budget for all that right now. And if the deal still makes sense, we're doing it. If it doesn't make sense, we're not. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to the spreadsheets. And if it makes sense, and if not, they got to rework the deal potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Aaron, when it comes to teaching those classes about inspection, what is your favorite part of that?
I love the education. I do it as I started it. I've probably been teaching CE credits to realtors for about 8 years, and I've got 6 different classes that I teach. It is one of my best marketing tools. It gives me opportunity to be in front of a group of real estate agents for 1, 2, 3, 4 hours as an industry expert, not as a salesperson. So it's a way for me to, expand my base in the industry here. But it also gives me, I got a goal that they list better houses. So if I'm teaching a class to listing agents, one of their big concerns is, as an inspector, are you a deal breaker, right? Well, there's a little bit of conflict there because, the home inspector didn't make up these issues. They took pictures and put it in the report. Like, it was there. And we're seeing the same stuff all the time. And as far as home inspections go, pages equal pain. So if I can give you a list of things that I see on every house, like, why not change the lights that don't work? Why not replace your smoke detector batteries? Why not tighten up any loose fixtures? Like, this is the stuff a handyman can do in a day. So you can negotiate a day's rate and take off 10, 20 things that won't be on a home inspection report. And each item on a home inspection report's got a couple pictures. So like, one item ends up being about this much. It only takes 2 or 3 items to be another page. So buyers get this reaction in their gut when they open an inspection report. So by working with the listing agents, my thing is, well, let me help them do a better job listing better houses so that, hey, our job's easier. We don't have to make, the reporting time is faster. The buyers are not scared of what's going to be in the report, and there's less conflict between agents and home inspectors. So that's a big deal for me, is how can I educate, help them do a better job? And then the same thing when I'm working with buyers agents, how do I help them set expectations about what is and what isn't a home inspection, so that we can kind of bring that Venn diagram between expectations and reality, and the more overlap and the closer we can get those together, the better we're all going to do together. And then with investors, it's, that's kind of another thing where, I want to help investors make better decisions so they're more profitable. And I've made some bad investment decisions myself, and there's been a lot of learning experiences from trial by error there. So just sharing my knowledge gets me excited.
Yeah, that is exciting. And Aaron, what is next on the horizon for Tennessee home inspectors? What do you see for the future?
So we've been growing through Middle Tennessee pretty well over the years, but I'd like to stretch out larger, and we're going to be franchising the company. That franchise offering it's about there. We spent so much time developing the systems and processes to run a multi-inspector firm, and it's gotten so smooth that I want to help other people have success that want to be home inspectors. Every now and then I'll get online, I'll look at all the licensed inspectors in Tennessee, and it amazes me how many of those licenses were issued and expired 2 years later and never renewed. And to me, I just see the broken dreams there. It's like, man, this person did all the work to get licensed and they didn't go anywhere with it. So if I can help some people have success in their business, that would be awesome. So I've been working with the consultant out of South Florida to be able to offer a franchise model for nationwide.
That's exciting. Aaron, before we wrap up, if our listeners want to connect with you, learn more about what you're doing, or maybe they need an inspection, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Our website is Get an Inspector. So getaninspector.com is a great place to jump off, and they can find our social medias there and reach out by phone or email or whatever.
So, Aaron, thank you so much for being on the show today, sharing your expertise in inspections.
Thank you, Erika.
And for our listeners, if you love this episode, make sure that you're subscribed to the Real Estate Pro Show. We've got more conversations coming up with owners like Aaron who are revolutionizing the industry. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.